This is the 2009 edition of the Preakness preview. So we're going to look over the horses in this race and maybe go over a couple of pointers or ideas that I had from looking over the program the first time. To start with, Big Drama in the one hole. This is a very tough, fast, versatile racehorse who has never run a bad race. And, I mean, there's not much not to like about the horse. The last race, I had the horse in a pick 3 and a double, and he ended up getting moved down, which I didn't like that call, but whatever. He still won the race. Here's the negative. This horse, that was a 7-furlong race in March. This is May. I don't know if a 7-furlong race in March is going to be competitive against this field. So the way I'm going to take a look at this race is I'm going to hope to try to beat the horse. Second thing, he's got the inside post position there, so he's going to have to go. And that early speed combined with the fillies' early speed, I'm hoping that that's going to work against these two horses. Okay, then we come to the Derby winner, Mind That Bird. What can you say? I mean, he burnt everybody. It's one of those situations where you bet the horse in the Preakness, you miss the wedding in the Derby, and then you go to the funeral in the Preakness and watch the horse get pounded. But as I look at the horse, 9 lifetime starts, 5 wins in a second, 1.7 million out of a sire who was a classic winner himself. So really only ran one bad race, and that was against the best 2-year-olds in the world, in addition to his first maiden race. So I don't know, difficult horse to handicap, but won the Kentucky Derby by 7 lengths. He's on an improving pattern, and his pattern looks similar to the pattern he ran up to last year's high speed figure in the grade 3 gray before the juvenile. So if he runs anywhere near where he ran last time out, he'll bury this field. So Derby winners are successful at the Preakness, in terms of hitting the board. So it's hard to leave him off, and plus he's 6-1. Musket Man, there's an 8-1 shot, who I really haven't been much of a fan of, but he's starting to cost me money, so you got to look at him. Very consistent runner, good speed figures, has been running against decent competition. He's definitely outrunning his Yamaguska pedigree, and I'm kind of waiting for this horse to run a bad race. Might not be this one, so he is so consistent. It's difficult to make an argument against him. Had a real fast workout here. We'll see how things shape out. I'm sure the Musket Man has to be on the ticket for the most part. Love Gov at 50-1. I kind of like this horse to hit the board. Superfecta type situation. Probably going to go off like 70-1. And the last time out, the speed figure was compatible with the top horses in this race. So at 50-1, who knows? Look at the Derby. This horse has run, I don't know, 10 broke his maiden in his 10th race, but these were all good races at Keeneland, Saratoga, Oaklawn, and Churchill. It was a horse was second 3 times, third once. So this is Dwayne Lucas, and he's about due for a break, isn't he? Run 4th, Love Gov. Why not? Freezing Fire. I didn't like this horse in the Derby. He ends up being the favorite. I ended up playing him on my tickets, and still not really a fan. I mean, they can make excuses for the performance in the Derby, but if you look at the horse's past performance line, his best races are obviously at the fairground. Outside of there, he was beaten in a maiden race at Aqueduct by 7 1/4 lengths, and broke his maiden in Delaware. So I don't know. The horse seemed to he had the slop going for him, the right. I'm not really a fan, but he was a beaten favorite. So that's a handicapping angle you can look at. But I think away from the fairgrounds, he's a different horse. The horses that he was beaten at the fairgrounds haven't done anything. Uh, I mean, the slop at the Louisiana Derby, Papa Clem came in there and has been a consistent horse. But aside from that, the horses that ran in the Fairground Series, dating back to the end of last year through the spring, kind of these horses really didn't do too much. Okay, then you go to Terrain, who is a horse who has a lot of hype. Was a promising horse, but hasn't fired yet. Always in the picture though, running only one bad race against Big Drama. His highest lifetime buyer speed, he ran fourth. You're getting top jockey at this track, local jockey who knows the course, which sometimes can work in your favor. There brings us to Papa Clem. Now Papa Clem is a horse who I've been a fan of the whole Triple Crown season here, and he's never let me down, always running gritty races. I sort of in the Derby there, if he would have just kind of got through, but he didn't have quite enough. I don't know if that's going to take something out of him or if he's going to give you that same performance. He's kind of like the Musket Man. He's 12-1 on the morning line right now. I'm not sure what in the notes on the Brisbane it says steady restraint. I'm not sure what they mean by that. At what point in the race did that occur or whatever. But entering the top of the stretch, if you look at Papa Clem, he's never worse than a length and a half from the lead. And that's key in these kind of races because you want to, these fields get so spread out with these big fields and these long races that you want to be somewhere close when you're getting ready to stretch out. He's consistently there. His slow work is hard to tell. He had a slow work before the Derby, and his only fast dirt track was a win in the Arkansas Derby. So that's a pretty good factor there, I think, in his favor if he gets fast track. He's had one race on it, and he beat a pretty darn good horse. Okay, and the horse that ran behind him there, Summer Bird, ran very good in the Derby. So general quarters, here you're looking at Le Pro keeping them out, running 10th in the middle of the pack there in the Kentucky Derby. I'm not sure about this horse. I've never been a fan personally. He hasn't been that impressive to me. But on the poly track at Keeneland, he ran a big race. His workout hasn't been that great. We'll see how he goes. He's going to be overlooked in a big way. So from a gambling standpoint, I mean his best race is close to the top horses in this field, and if you can find a way to find an angle which lets you think that he's coming up to his biggest race, he's going to be 25-1. So that would be a huge payoff. Then you got Pioneer of the Nile, who ran a big race, I thought, in the Kentucky Derby. Could have been a winner if it wasn't for the Bird. He's so steady and always there. He's a gritty horse who knows how to win. His top speed figure was in the Derby, where they went on dirt and they went a little further. And he hasn't had a fast dirt track yet. So, that was a sloppy track. See how he does on the fast dirt. The rest of his races are on turf and poly. So, that could be an angle. He's got a real good workout. He's going to be a square price. Going to get him at 5-1, 6-1, somewhere in there. And he's always there. You're going to get a run out of him. I could see him locking up in the stretch. Flying Private is another Lucas horse who ran his best race on the poly track by far. I was at that race. And I'm going to have to stop this.